mount his horse and take a turn in the yard below. Father is very fat. Because of his weight and the terrible sores that afflict his legs and make them swell, he can no longer mount a horse by himself. He requires 4 attendants and a crane to get him onto his horse in full armor. It is almost as exciting as watching a tournament to see him being cranked up and then lowered onto his horse. Later. It was rabbit pie, but Kat didn't make me eat it. She didn't eat it either. She sniffed it in that special way she has. The very tip of her long bony nose takes on a life of its own and begins to twitch. Then the fatal words, "It is off." Off means rancid, spoiled, so we just ate cheese and bread and drank cider. In 2 days' time, Father leaves for France, which he is invading. He will ride to Dover and then cross the Channel to Calais. Her Majesty Kathryn Parr, his 6th wife, promises that she will do all she can to permit us, the children, to accompany the royal party as far as Dover, so we can see him off. That will be an even greater spectacle, with 10,000 men and drummers and trumpeters. Oh! Finally, Father is on the horse. He canters off round the yard. "Hooray! Hooray!" they all cry. Then, "How! How!" my father's fool, Will Summers, shouts. Will is the only one to call him Hal. Yes, he is a sight, my father. The sun glints off his armor. He is like a mountain of silver, gleaming and huge. July the 3rd, 1544. So, dear diary, I read my last words. My father glints like a mountain of silver, and I, looking down upon him yesterday, was like a slim shadow in the window. For you see, I am not only often forgotten, but nearly invisible. I promised I would tell you all. Well, here is the start of my story of invisibility, of being forgotten. I have had 5 mothers in all. I have liked them all. I did not know the first of my father's 6 wives, but I have liked all the others. They do, however, run together in my head. I barely remember Jane Seymour, Prince Edward's mother. I was but 4 when she died. I cannot talk of Catherine Howard. She was so beautiful and young, more like a playmate than a mother. But I cannot bear to tell of her end. Not now, at least. It was too awful. I was old enough to remember, unlike with my mother. Just before Catherine Howard, there was Anne of Cleves, a very jolly sort. She is German and speaks in great guttural gushes, often spraying spit. That, and the fact she looks like a horse, or so my father said, made for a very short marriage. Father unwifed her. He does not like the term divorce. But they are friends still, rather like sister and brother. She is here now at Greenwich, and shall go to Dover with all of us. It will be a jolly affair, sending Father off to war. Really jolly if Princess Mary wouldn't come. I do wish that as sisters, Princess Mary and I were as fond of each other as Father and his sister, Anne of Cleves. Princess Mary is 28, and all she ever does is pray, and she never smiles. Father likes to forget Princess Mary sometimes too, for she reminds him of his first wife, Catherine of Aragon. Somewhere between all these wives I became invisible, because I was part of something he wanted very badly to forget too. He likes to think, or indeed he passes decrees that say that Mary and I are bastards, children of what he insists were illegal marriages, and therefore we could never be queens of England and rule. But Kathryn Parr changed all that. Now it is said that when Father dies, Edward, our little brother, who is just 6, shall become king. Then, if Edward dies, Princess Mary will be queen, and if Mary dies, I shall rule. This will not happen. I am 3rd in line, and Edward seems healthy to me, although Father thinks Edward is too fat. Is that not funny? My father is the fattest person in the realm, and he is calling Edward, who is a trifle plump, fat. Some might think our family is quite confused or mad. That last sentence could be considered treasonous. The punishment for treason is beheading, and I for one would find a French swordsman little comfort. You see why I must hide you. That, in short, is my story of how I became invisible. I doubt I shall ever be queen, for it is very difficult for an invisible princess to wear a crown. I suppose by the same token it might be difficult to behead an invisible princess. But I am my father's daughter. I do look the most like him, and though I am not nearly of his size, I am of his stature. One does not have to be huge to have a stature and a bearing that is royal. Mary does not. Edward is so frail, even if father thinks he's too fat. I want to be queen. I think I am smart enough to be queen. I know I am smart enough. This is not pride. I simply know what I know. But what does it all mean if I remain a slim shadow in a palace window? July the 4th, 1544. I cannot believe what has happened. I am not to go to Dover. I am to be sent forthwith to Hatfield. Everyone else is going. Prince Edward, Princess Mary, Anne of Cleves, the Queen and all her ladies, and dear Robin Dudley. My time at Hatfield would be so much more cheerful if Robin were there, but why should he suffer for me? Robin is my best friend. He is the son of John Dudley, one of my father's closest advisers in the Privy Council, and in fact commander of the fleet in the campaign against France. So of course he would not miss a chance to see his father off, and his father would not banish him like mine has just done to me. Robin dreams, I am sure, of going on campaign some day against the French. It is every knight's dream, and Robin will be a knight, more surely than I shall ever be queen. Here is what happened. It was last evening, and we were all in the great hall for a festive banquet, the last before the campaign. My father likes his amusements, so Will Summers, his fool, had come to tell each of us children to prepare a musical piece to perform. I myself play the table harpsichord, also called the virginal. I usually favour father with one of the compositions that he has written, such as Greensleeves, and then he asks if I have composed anything new. Well, I had, so I played it, but I did not sing the words.
"Oh, do sing it, Elizabeth,"
he said. Well, a king does not have need to press. He commands, so I sang reluctantly, for I knew that the lyrics could be thought of as troublesome. Could, not necessarily would. Robin clad in green did come to see the Queen, and sitting by the throne, 2 princesses were shown. Hey nonny nonny, hey nonny nonny. One in shadows glowed, despite her lack of gems. The other in the sun looked verily so glum. Father erupted. He felt the words a terrible insult, that I was fretting about Mary getting to be queen before myself, that I was an ungrateful wretch.
"Enough,"
he said in that low, deadly voice that stops everything. I swear even the birds shut their beaks. A terrible silence descended on the room. It was all I could do to keep from crying. I was sent to my apartments. Half an hour later, Sir Anthony Denny, a groom of the Privy Chamber, came to inform me that I would be going to Hatfield forthwith. I knew, of course, before Sir Anthony arrived. Anne of Cleves had followed me out as I left the great hall. I felt this spray of spittle on the back of my neck.
"I will speak to him, Elizabeth. I will try to say something to change his mind. I will.
July the 5th, 1544. Anne of Cleves came to my apartments today. She could not change his mind. The king's retinue leaves in an hour for Dover. We leave for Hatfield 2 hours later. I am so sad. My presence is commanded at the east gate as they leave. I shall not deign to record the ceremony and pageantry of their leave-taking in this diary. In fact, I shall close my eyes as they pass by. July the 10th, 1544. Hatfield. It was quite remarkable. Even before we left Greenwich Palace I felt the change. My ladies of the chamber, the ones who take care of cats and my sewing and laundry, had been reduced from 3 to 1. Instead of 3 horse-grooms, we travelled with 1. The servants who are left us answer less quickly and are often inattentive, sometimes even surly. Why? It's very simple, really. This is not court. Some even say I am an illegitimate princess.